Welcome to the Track Renewal Group with the TRT 909. Over the next few minutes we would like to show you some of the operations and the general scope of work involved in the track renewal process. As the name implies, the track renewal is the removal of the existing track and the installation of a completely new track consisting of concrete ties and continuous welded rail known as CWR. Prior to the arrival of the Track Renewal Group, 1,600-foot long pieces of CWR, known as strings of rail, are distributed alongside of the track to be worked on. One of the first steps in our operation is to use various pieces of equipment to move the CWR, or strings of rail, from the side of the track into the center of the existing track. This is done to set the rail in position for the in-track welder, the next stop in the track renewal process. As the in-track welder sets up, obstacles and obstructions such as crossings, bridges, and switches are identified and prepared to minimize delays to the track renewal train, or TRT. The truck-mounted in-track welder is an electronic flash weld system that uses rail positioning cart to match up the ends of two strings of rail and fuses them into one continuous piece of CWR. After the in-track weld is completed, the starting and stopping points for the TRT, known as cut-ins and cut-outs, are prepared for the arrival of the track renewal train itself, which is the next step in the renewal process. The TRT consists of the tie laying machine itself and a series of gantry cars, so named for the rail system that allows gantry or overhead cranes to move from car to car. These gantry cranes carry both new and old ties and transport 21 new concrete ties per trip. The operation utilizes 3 gantry cranes which work in tandem to shuttle new concrete ties from the far end of the train towards the machine, returning with the old wood ties to reload the recently emptied gantry cars. Each day the TRT starts out with approximately 30 gantry cars. Depending on the car, they are loaded with either 168 or 210 new concrete ties. As we move forward to the tie laying machine itself, the new CWR is threaded into a series of rollers, bringing it from the center of the track to the outside of the machine. As the machine proceeds forward, the old rail is unfastened from the ties by pulling out spikes with a hydraulic spike puller, and then utilizes a magnet system to pick up and pile old spikes and other metal to be loaded by equipment later in the renewal process. As the new concrete ties are brought forward to be placed on the new tie conveyor by the gantry cranes, a load of wood ties already positioned on the accumulator table are then picked up and taken to the other end of the train. At this point in the machine, you can see the new concrete ties traveling towards installation over the top of the old wood ties that were just removed from the track. Next, the old rail comes out of the track and passes over the new rail. The weight of the machine is supported by a watch band sled. During this part of the operation, while all the rail is on the outside of the machine, the old ties are loaded on a conveyor and taken up to the accumulator table to be prepared for the gantry cranes to pick up. After the wood ties are removed, a V-shaped plow removes the ballast and makes a level roadbed, and the new concrete ties are dropped into position and then spaced to 2-foot centers. After the ties are in position, the new rail travels through an induction heater to bring the rail to the neutral temperature for the area being worked. This is to allow for the expansion and contraction of the rail throughout the year as the temperature fluctuates with the seasons. After being heated to the neutral temperature, the rail is lined up and seated into the new concrete ties. After the rail is in position, a clipper machine fastens the rail to the tie with an elastic fastener known as a clip. This is what the track looks like immediately behind the TRT, with the rail completely fastened to the ties but sitting on bare ground. As you can see, the old rail is now positioned alongside of the track, which leads to the next part of our operation, the cleanup of old rail and scrap materials. To clean up the old rail, we utilize a rail pickup train, which uses another set of rollers to guide the rail onto the train. This train consists of 50 slots or pockets that hold 1,600 feet of rail apiece. When fully loaded, this equates to the train holding 80,000 total feet of used rail. After the rail has been loaded, a car-moving vehicle pulling gondolas and car-top loading cranes pick up the pieces of scrap wood, metal, and other materials lying alongside of the track. All materials are sorted, with the usable materials being recycled. At this point in the operation, all of the new material is installed in the track and all of the old material has been removed. Upon completion of the process, we now begin putting the new track up to standard. For the next phase of work, any crossings that have been temporarily installed are removed, and a ballast undercutter removes all material from underneath the track. It then sorts out any reusable rock, which is returned to the track, and then discharges all dirt and fine matter. This leaves a windrow of dirt, which will either be hauled away or leveled out to form a right-of-way road. Any reclaimed rock and the additional newly distributed ballast is then used to raise and line the track to the proper height and alignment. A laser and lighting system are utilized to form a uniform track structure. The remaining applications are used to move the rock between the rails and the shoulder. Then the track is dressed to conform with the Union Pacific standards. In recapping, our track renewal group has taken existing track, such as the adjacent track shown, and completely replaced it with new concrete ties and new larger rail. All other structures, such as switches and crossings, are also replaced as part of our procedure, as shown in this picture of a newly installed public crossing. When the track renewal group comes into an area for a work assignment, we typically hold one main line or the other for 24 hours a day over a 9-day period. During this time frame, our usual amount of area covered in a production would be 1.8 to 2 miles of track per day. With the gang stretched out to accommodate all sections the room to work, it covers a minimum of 6 miles, and in some instances 8 to 10 miles of track are needed. While working on the track, adjacent main line remains in service for train traffic to be routed around our work. The track renewal group encompasses roughly 250 men, from the planning stages through the final product. Also included in our group is our staff of mechanics, which maintain and repair our extensive line of equipment. We consider the track renewal group to truly be a complete reconstruction of our work area and an overall improvement to both the track and the surrounding area. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to witness a brief glimpse into how the track renewal group operates, and we hope it enabled you to get a better understanding of our day-to-day operations.